G'day all, and welcome to another video about World War III, where I just talk without a script and see where it goes. So there's been some news recently, well, yesterday from where I'm recording this now, and that's that there'll be a closed beta test. Obviously, there's some sort of humour in the fact that they've called it a CBT, but anyway, we'll ignore that for the moment. So it's a closed beta test, and it's open to everybody who has already purchased the game in the past, so all the veterans from the alpha, as well as now anyone who purchases the packs, but I'll get to that in a minute. First, for any of you who don't know what World War III is, it's a sort of, I don't know, I would call it an enhanced Battlefield experience, in that it's very similar to the good old days of Battlefield when it still had a soul, but a bit more enhanced. It's like if you would imagine where a sequel to Battlefield 4 would be like if it hadn't lost its soul, basically. So you can sort of read here if you want about what it's about. This is just on worldwar3.com. So feel free to go and check this out if you want. But it is it's very cool, and I highly recommend checking it out if you're into those kinds of games. Whether it be, it's sort of it's less on the simulator side than something like Squad, but it's a little bit more tactical realism and that sort of thing than some of these more arcade games like Battlefield and that. And if anything, even more tactical than Battlefield 4 ever was, and that sort of thing. So anyway, so that's World War 3, and this closed beta. So there was an announcement on the closed beta, and by the way, I've opened several tabs because this website can be a little slow at the moment. But anyway, so so the announcement sort of trailer went live yesterday, and it is looking pretty cool. So I'll sort of let that play, maybe just real quiet while I talk. So obviously this is a cinematic trailer, not an actual gameplay trailer, but it does give you a sense of the type of game they're aiming for. This is not a this isn't a sort of Fortnite clone or anything like Battlefield 2042. No, that's a bit extreme, but you know what I'm getting at. This isn't a clone of those sorts of games. This is a game that's all about teamwork and realism that's still fun. And I think that's the key. It's one thing for a game to be ultra realistic, but it's still got to be fun. The gameplay's got to be fun, and I think that's where they've got the balance right with this. So yeah, I was happy to see Smolensk is back, because we didn't get that in the alpha, but it was something that was in the old version of the game from a couple of years ago. So good to see that that's returning. And I'd noticed too, a few people had asked me in my YouTube comments and that about the weapons, so things like the AK-15 and that. Yeah, I'm pretty certain that's coming back. The alpha was just a test. I'm pretty sure they were testing server load and that sort of thing. I think was the main purpose of the test, and so there were a few weapons missing and things like that, but all that stuff's going to come back, and by the sounds of it they'll be adding more stuff. There are some what I would still probably call rumors at this stage, that there'll be Tokyo added and things like that. So that's a thing. So it's looking pretty cool. But I'm sure you get the idea of this trailer anyway. So yeah, it starts on November 25th, and it actually goes all the way until March next year, so March 2022. So that's pretty cool. Now, for those who already have purchased the game, make sure you come into the World War III website and log in with your Steam account to get. Actually, I'll go into that now. Can I open this in a new tab? No, it won't let me open a new tab. Okay, we'll just go into it then and I'll go back. You'll see what I mean about how slow this loads. Oh, actually, that wasn't too bad. So anyway, so the veteran pack. So this will give you everything that Lieutenant Pack has, and I'll go back to that in a sec. It gives you a bunch of good stuff. Gives you a battle pass for one season. Don't know how long a season is. I did ask, but I didn't get an answer. I don't know whether a season is a year or an actual season, like normal length season. I'm assuming it's a normal length season, but I'm kind of hoping it's a year. But we'll find out. You also get access. to the closed beta test. Oh, that's funny. But anyway, and everything the Lieutenant pack has, you can see there. So if we go back to... Oh, and by the way, one more thing I should mention. There's this President pack. In fact, let's go into that. So it seems as though this is specifically to just bring news. I don't think this is... I mean, obviously, I'm sure it is a serious thing, but I think that the whole purpose of this was to be newsworthy, so people will get talking about it. And obviously it's worked. I mean, and I'm talking about it now. But there is this President pack. It seems someone has either placed a pre-order for it, which is $1,000. And by the way, it's $5 million. And you heard that right, $5 million. But the pre-order is only $1,000. So there are a couple of possibilities. Either A, somebody has pre-ordered it not realizing that it's actually $5 million. B, someone pre-ordered it and knows that it's $5 million and is willing to pay that. Or C, maybe they've just locked it because they realized that $1,000 pre-order is way too low. It should be more like $250,000 or something like that to prevent people from accidentally or unknowingly doing it without realizing how much the actual cost is. Anyway, but what the President Pack does is you'll star in a movie, you'll get a physical helmet, you will be able to have your body scanned and put into the game, or maybe just your face, but whatever, you get yourself in the game, and also you get to choose a map to be made for the game of any location of your choosing. Now that is pretty freaking awesome, and I also think that that this is likely worth the $5 million if you think about how much a movie costs to make, how much a map costs to make, when they're of this sort of quality, and obviously they're going to go to the location to, get reference material, photos and whatever, and with the physical helmet and all that sort of thing. This all costs money. Obviously the movie is where the main bulk of it is going, but you get to star in that movie. I mean, that is pretty awesome. And as you can see there, there's the helmet that you get made for you as a real life item. You get a whole lot of in-game currency and all that sort of stuff. Unique gold weapon skin, which whatever, I don't really care about that. And just a bunch of in-game stuff as well. So pretty crazy stuff. But yeah, it seems as though you can't actually pre-order it right now. Like I said, there was only one available, and it now isn't. So, like I said, either someone accidentally did it or didn't realize it was $5 million. Maybe someone did. Whatever. Point is, you can't. And if you're watching my little video on my tiny little channel, it's unlikely you have $5 million because you probably got better things to do with your time if you had that much money. Anyway, so let's go back to where I was. So we'll go back to the packs. So, for those who haven't actually, don't have the original version, they hadn't paid for it previously, there is good news for you. You can join the closed beta test by paying as little as the $15. Now, this is US dollars, by the way, so for us here in Australia, it's going to be a little more. But yeah, $15 US to just gain access to the beta, and you might get a few things. $30 US for the same stuff plus a couple of extra blueprints and whatever. Lieutenant pack, which is what I was saying earlier, that anyone who's already purchased the game previously will have all of this as well. So that includes all of the same stuff, more blueprints and stuff. And then for those who want to spend an obscene amount of money just to support development or whatever, you get all of that stuff plus you get 15,000 in-game credits. So really, the only reason you would want, and only one person has purchased this, so they started with 50,000 available, and now there's 49,999, which means that one person has purchased this. Now, I'd say that some people might think this is unreasonable. I don't actually, to be honest, because some people actually do, like myself. I've considered purchasing this not because I care about any of this stuff. I mean, I'm not going to be using weapon skins, blueprints, and all that. I don't care about all that stuff. In fact, I dislike weapon skins. But anyway, that's a different subject. Point is, I would spend this money if I had this money to spare right now. I would spend it just because I like this game. I want to support development. So I may still end up doing that, but we'll see. Maybe not, but we'll see. So yeah, and I mean, you can go through this FAQ as well. It's well worth visiting this site just to have a look for yourself. But yeah, anyone who has any of these packs has access to the closed beta test. Obviously, beta test starts on November 25th. Yeah, they're wiping progress, stuff like that, before the beta. What else? Oh yeah, you can upgrade your pack. So as you can see here, this is costing me $250 US instead of $300 US. The only reason that's like that. Not that I have purchased the Lieutenant Pack, but because I just automatically already have it because of the whole Veteran Pack thing, it means it's reduced it for me by $50. But if you were to buy that, as an example, if you were to buy the Lieutenant Pack, then and later you decided you wanted to upgrade, it would be $50 cheaper. Or more realistically, let's say you bought it for $15 and wanted to then buy the $30 one, it would then be $15 to upgrade, as just an easy example. So that's a thing. Downgrading, I don't think they've mentioned it, and I don't know if you can then downgrade it. Probably not. But that shouldn't stop you anyway, because like I said, this money supports development anyway. So you should probably buy into it if you haven't already. It's a good game, and I think it's only going to get better from here. Now, also to address something that also was in my comments before, and I've seen elsewhere. There was talk about this game being free to play, and now it has been announced that it's free to play. Now, the reason why I said earlier I didn't say it wasn't going to be. I said that we didn't know, and that's because we didn't know. It had never been officially announced that it was going to be free to play. There were rumors going around and that sort of thing, but it was never actually officially announced. So that's why I said, don't just automatically assume it's going to be free to play just because that's what you're seeing. Now, as it turns out, it is, but at the same time, it's not healthy to just make assumptions and go straight off whatever anybody says. Look for information yourself, and if you can't find anything, it's probably just a rumor. And yeah, it might turn out to be true, it might not. In this case, it did turn out to be true that yes, this is going to be free to play after the closed beta ends and in March 2022 and the open beta starts. So yes. To those who commented in the comments, yes, it is free to play, but there is a reason why I was saying not to just automatically assume that, because the devs had not actually confirmed that until now. Anyway, let's continue. So any of the content too, any of the stuff you buy for this, obviously is going to be not just for the beta, but all the way through past the beta as well. Now, it is a battle pass system, and according to the devs, it appears to be a very similar system to how Modern Warfare 2019 works, which is fine for me. I really don't mind that. I quite liked how the system worked. They're also talking, they mentioned a few times in when questions have been asked about this over the last 24 hours, about the progression system, the attachments and how that works, the blueprint stuff, and basically their answer repeatedly has been it's basically the same as Modern Warfare 2019. So if you have any questions about it, feel free to ask them in their Discord server or whatever, but for the most part you can just sort of go, well, think about what Modern Warfare 2019 system was like and just apply that to this, because it's very, very similar. So that's that. Moving on to the next bit, the Veteran Pack. So going back to this now, actually, like I said, if you are a veteran of this game and you already have it, make sure you register or whatever with your Steam account here. Now you can probably do it other ways, but the reason I say Steam account is just to make sure that nothing doesn't work. Just to make sure everything runs smoothly. Log in with your Steam account. That way, you get all of this Veteran Pack stuff when the closed beta launches. From my understanding, if you don't register or log in here on this site, then you don't get this stuff. Now, I don't 100% know if that's the case, but we've been told to do this. So I'm sure most of you who already are a veteran already on the Discord anyway probably already know this information. So this is probably nothing new to those of you who are a veteran. But just in case I'm reaching someone who doesn't know this, make sure you do register here if you want this Lieutenant Pack Season Pass and whatever else. Actually I think it says it here, doesn't it? Yeah, so if you're a veteran, you don't need to do anything, just log in with your Steam account. There you go. So there it is. Log in with your Steam account, and that what they're referring to here is this website. Then check your status via account. Now, it's not very clear, but it is specifically talking about this website. And you can tell that because if you hover over the link, you can see that says worldwar3.com/account. So they are specifically talking about this website. So if you are a veteran, you don't need to do anything. It's not really the right thing to say. Just log into your Steam account. Do that. There's not a lot more to talk about it with the closed beta specifically, except to say that obviously I'll absolutely be playing it at the moment it starts, and also obviously I'll be playing the full game when that releases. But I did just want to talk about a few of the, or address some of the comments that I've seen. So if you just give me a moment, I probably should have prepared this earlier, but if you just give me a moment, I'll go through and have a look and see if I can address some of these comments in this video. I have been replying, so I do make a point of trying to reply to every comment. Obviously I don't get to every single one, but I do try to reply to as many as I can. I'm sort of glad in a way that my channel is still so small, because it means I can do that. So let's have a look here. So yeah, a lot of people have praised the customization. I've seen a lot of that in the comments, and that's great. It's good to see people are interested in that, because I think that's one of the strongest points of this game, is the amount of customization you can do. And again, yeah, it's one of those things where a few people have commented that there is, not enough weapons and attachments or whatever compared to the original version. Again, that was because the alpha had a lot of stuff cut out of it. The beta and moving forwards will have a lot more. So there'll be a lot more weapons, a lot more attachments and things like that to come. So don't worry at all about that. What else? Yeah, there's a lot of comments that say the same thing. Yeah, people comparing it to Escape from Tarkov's customization, things like that. I think that's pretty fair. Yeah, the guy that was saying it will be free, and I said, look, don't say that straight away. But yeah, I mean, he was right. It's just that, it was an assumption based on a rumor. Now it has been confirmed, and yes, now you can say it is absolutely going to be free, because it is now. It has been confirmed. Some guy said maybe not a Battlefield killer, but definitely a COD killer. I don't know about that. So actually, and that's another thing to bring up. So I had a few people ask, do I think that this is going to be a Battlefield killer, more specifically, or do I think it's going to be competition to Battlefield and that sort of thing? And my response to that is basically sort of, but not really. So I think Battlefield, especially now that Battlefield has lost its soul, it appeals to a different kind of player. So I think when it comes to does this compete when it comes to the old style of Battlefield? Yes, it does. This absolutely competes to, so say those who are still playing Battlefield 4. Yeah, I'd imagine that a lot of people probably are going to move on to this, unless they're the true hardcore people that only play one game. But as far as the average Battlefield player that buys whatever the next Battlefield is, and the ones that are genuinely interested in Battlefield 2042, I mean, if players are genuinely interested in Battlefield 2042, then this probably isn't the kind of game that they want to play. So I don't think this is going to kill Battlefield. I just think this is something different. This is something that's more in line with the older style of Battlefield player. Not so much, what Battlefield has become over the last few releases, leading up to where it is now, which is totally different. And as for a COD killer, I mean, obviously not, because Call of Duty is invincible at this point. Nothing is going to kill Call of Duty, simply because there will always be those people that will just buy it year after year, regardless of how good or bad it is, as we saw with, and again, some people genuinely like it, but as you saw when Cold War came out, people moved on from Modern Warfare, despite Modern Warfare clearly being the better game, and the same thing we're seeing with Vanguard as well. People are buying Vanguard despite it being even worse than Cold War, and which was already worse than Modern Warfare. So it's one of those things. COD will never die for that reason. It is one of the most successful franchises ever. So I don't think this is a COD killer. I don't think this is a Battlefield killer. I just think that this is something for the more old school style of Battlefield player that wants to step it up a level and wants that sense of a little bit more realism, but while still having that fun Battlefield experience. I had a few people ask me about the guns, so I did end up uploading as many of the videos of the different weapon customizations as I had. As it turned out, I was missing 3. One was totally accidental, so there were 2 that were still locked by the time the alpha finished for me, so I couldn't upload those videos. And there was also one that I did have unlocked, but somehow I managed to miss it and didn't record the video of it, so I'm sorry about that. But hopefully someone else has a video out there on that particular weapon. but for the most part I had all of the others, so I was only missing 3 out of all the ones in the alpha, and as I said earlier, there are going to be more as well. So same thing, so when, and also let me know in the comments what videos you want me to do, because when this closed beta comes out, I'll be doing the exact same thing again. I'll be making videos for any of the new weapons that come out, or anything that, basically anything that's different to the ones I did in the alpha. So obviously I'm not going to do the exact same thing if there's the identical, like as an example, let's say the M416 or something like that, or M417 or whatever. Let's say that it is identical, the customization is identical when the beta launches. Then I'm not going to make another video on that. But if there's something different, then I'll do that. I will likely do more of these videos where I talk about it too. So but let me know what you want, because I'm pretty keen to show you whatever you want to see of World War III. So definitely let me know. What else is there on here? I've got a lot of these spam comments to go through as well. As I'm scrolling through these comments, there's a ton of the ones that get automatically deleted. Still get a lot of those. Someone asked, do snipers in World War III kill in one shot to the body? No, and that's a complicated one. So this game makes use of realistic ballistics. So if you hit someone with a sniper in the body armor, or the armor plate in the body, and again, this isn't like Call of Duty, where when you have an armor plate, it treats the same as if you get shot in the arm, it treats as if you have body armor in the arm. This isn't like that. If you get shot in the arm, you get shot where there's no body armor. But if you get shot on the plate, then that's body armor. So you can shoot just below the plate, just above the plate, that sort of thing. And the same thing applies to the helmet. So you can shoot someone in the face and they've got no armor there. But if you shoot someone in the helmet, then that's armor. So so that applies there. And also, it's also not a simple one-answer question either, because there are different armors. From what I've seen, there are 3 different types of armor. There may be more, but I'm pretty sure there's just the 3 that will be in the closed beta at least. And that is Kevlar, ceramic, and steel, and they have different effectiveness against different ballistics. So so keep that in mind, that it's not as simple as a one shot to the body with a sniper. It's not that simple. It totally depends on what kind of armor, if any, they're wearing, and the distance that you shot is, all that sort of stuff. The usual things you would expect from something that's ballistically realistic. Someone's commented here, they're not competing with COD, and that is totally accurate. They certainly aren't competing with COD. Why would they bother? There were some strange comments in here that I didn't quite understand. Someone here said the game lacks everything, but there is even too much customization. I totally don't understand that. How can there be too much customization, really? And how does it lack everything? I mean, look at this thing. This game is awesome. I don't think it lacks anything. But I think most people in the comments were saying positive things about this. There were just a few negative things, but I have a feeling it's just the usual. I mean, this is the internet. You get a lot of that stuff. People are saying there's lots of languages missing. That is true. That is true. People are saying free to play would be a bad thing, while we were talking about the free to play thing before we knew it was true. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that. It's a tough thing. So, and it's also a bit of a controversial thing. So there are a lot of people who automatically hate free to play, and that's understandable. I mean, we've had some pretty bad experiences with free to play in the past with different games. But I think it's almost necessary for World War III. It has a lot less reach from a marketing perspective than other games, so it's difficult to sort of say, oh, here's a $60 game or whatever. A lot of people are going to be like, yeah, but I already pre-ordered Battlefield, or or I already played this other game or whatever. So to try and convince people to buy this game is difficult, as we saw, when the old version of the game, we also saw that where, and even for me, it was really tough. When I advocated, I promoted this game as somewhat, and I was really trying to get Aussies to buy this game and play it, but a lot of people didn't want to take the risk and didn't want to buy it, not knowing, not being able to actually experience the gameplay. It's one thing to watch it, it's another thing to play it. So I think the free-to-play model is kind of necessary in this case. And also, you know, I think one of the biggest things that people are concerned about with free-to-play is pay-to-win. And that's where this isn't that. So you cannot buy attachments in this game. You cannot buy them. Attachments must be unlocked through gameplay. That is the only way. Now, there are blueprints, and I don't understand everything about it yet. I'll answer those questions when the beta comes out. But from my understanding, they're doing everything they can to prevent this from being pay to win. The only things you can pay money for are cosmetics. Now, there is the blueprint thing, and there's still a little confusion over that. And I don't want to give any answers about that until I know for sure. But no matter what the situation is, I'm sure that it's you know, it's going to be fair. It'll be a fair playing field for everybody. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. And also, you know, it's in their best interest to make sure it's not pay to win because of how everyone feels about free to play. So yeah, don't just hate it just because it's free to play. It's not fair. This game is phenomenal, and if anything, be a little thankful that it's free to play because it means there'll be more players. It means you don't have to pay for it, and you can still play it and find out for yourself whether you enjoy it. So at the very least, give it a chance. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Now, let's keep going through these comments, see if I can find something else interesting. You know, even just some comments that are just outright wrong. You know, free to play equals greed. But anyway, we'll just ignore all that stuff now. We'll move on. Oh yeah, a couple of people had mentioned that I went through the customization options really fast in those videos. That was deliberate. I was doing that because I wanted the videos to be nice and short. If you want to go back through those videos, feel free to slow down the video. YouTube does have a thing where you can watch the video at half speed or quarter speed or whatever you want. Feel free to pause the videos, that sort of thing. I didn't mention it anywhere. I probably should have, but that was the intention. The intention was not for people to just watch it through unless they wanted to, but you know, if you really want to actually look each thing individually, pause the video or slow it down or whatever. So yeah, sorry for the confusion on that. That was a deliberate intentional thing. I did do it deliberately fast because I mean, for one, I was running out of time before the servers were going to shut down, and you know, I left that a bit late. But yeah, also let me know in the comments, do you want me, when I do it again next, to do it slower? I'm perfectly happy to do that if that's what you would all prefer. But yeah, let me know. But in the meantime, for the ones that currently exist, yeah, just watch them slower or pause. There were a few people asking about bots in the game, and I did ask about this, and the answer I got was basically it wasn't an absolute no, but I'm taking it as one, because the answer I got was that it's very expensive and time consuming and complicated to do, and it doesn't seem like it's something that the devs are interested in. I have personally no problem with that, but it is still at the moment on the table as a possibility for when this game reaches end of life cycle. Now, as for how far away end of life cycle is, at the very least it will be 4 to 5 years, and I mean it's going to be a lot longer than that. I would think. But you know, if this game was to somehow fail in some way, then maybe it would be 4 to 5 years from now. That would be worst case scenario. So it's sort of, I think, on the table as far as, you know, maybe, but I wouldn't count on it. And to be honest, I'm kind of not expecting it. And I also have no issue with that. I would rather verse real players. I really dislike the bots in Battlefield 2042. I don't want to see that in this. So I wouldn't expect bots. And absolutely not for the beta or launch. A lot of people were comparing it to Modern Warfare, and yes, that is accurate. It's funny how people were comparing it to Modern Warfare even before I started getting responses on the Discord about it being very much like Modern Warfare directly from the horse's mouth. So yeah, that I think was intentional on their part. They saw something good. I agree with that. I totally agree. It should be like Modern Warfare. I really like how Modern Warfare did a lot of the things that were in it. I mean, that's why I still play it. So yeah, I have no issue with that. I hope none of you do either, because I actually think Modern Warfare's system for attachments, like for unlocking attachments and things, and the blueprint system, I thought it was fantastic. So yeah. Another thing, I don't know how to even bring it up. It's related to do with blueprints and being able to, like in Modern Warfare, how you can mix and match stuff in blueprints. As far as I know, in World War III, that will be a thing just out of necessity because of the nature of how attachments work in World War III. Because a lot of the weapons share attachments and things, so like the same attachment will work for multiple weapons. As far as I know, yes, you should be able to mix and match perfectly fine, just because there would be no other way to do it. So I think that's enough going through the comments for the moment. I mean, if there's anything else you want me to talk about specifically, anything you want to know, feel free to ask me in the comments, and I'll keep replying to comments. There are heaps more comments I haven't gone through yet. There's a lot here, and I've got to say thanks to all of you who watched my videos, and those who liked my videos. I don't often get a lot of people actually press the button. Not that it's not the biggest deal. I don't monetize my channel, so this isn't my daily job or anything. I wouldn't worry about it too much, but I do appreciate it. I do notice it. Thanks for the comments and things, those positive comments you guys give. And thanks to those who subscribed. I mean, again, like I said, it's not my daily job, but it is something I notice. It does make me feel good when I see that people are interested enough to subscribe. And one more thing I've been a little bit wondering is, I've still got a whole year's worth of Modern Warfare videos to upload, and I don't know what to do. Should I upload them, or should I be exclusively World War III content? Let me know in the comments, because I want to know, because I have a whole year's worth of content I still haven't uploaded for Modern Warfare. And some of it's great, I got some Juggernaut gameplay, some gameplay with mates. Some of it's hilarious, a lot of free-for-all stuff as well. Do you want to see that stuff, or should I move on to World War III and exclusively do that? Definitely let me know. So there's that. Other than that, though, I don't want this video to be too long. I think I've gone for half an hour or something already, at least. Probably longer. Time flies. But yeah, like I said, if there's anything you want to know, if there's any questions you have about the game specifically, and also about my channel going forwards. Like I said, this isn't monetized, so this isn't affecting my income or anything. So it's not too important to me. As far as the sort of analytics for my channel or whatever, but I do want to create content that's genuinely interesting to you, and this channel was originally intended to be raw gameplay only, and over the years I've been slowly changing that. So let me know what direction you want to see it go down, because I've been sort of throwing a whole bunch of ideas out there over the last couple of years. I've been trying different things. I've put benchmark videos up. I've had a few videos when I'm talking. I've had a few unrelated videos, like the one I did for putting fans in a network switch. Something totally random. And I've tried a bunch of different things to see what gets the most views and the most sort of interactions, in comments and that sort of thing. And it really seems as though the World War III content is where a lot of it is going, which is, funnily enough, ever since World War III, or ever since I started playing it, that is where I sort of wanted to go. But at first it sort of didn't seem all that popular, but now it appears this time around that people are super interested. So if it's something you want to see, let me know. I'm really interested to know what you want to see. Just be prepared for the rambling, as I do, which is another thing too. Let me know what you think of that, because I do a lot of rambling, and it's a little too easy for me to do. But if there's something I can improve on, I want to know. Obviously, I don't want this to be a job, so I don't want this to become no longer fun for me. But at the same time, I do like making content that people are interested in, and I do enjoy having a bit of a chat. And I'd even be open for if someone wants to get in game with me and have a two-way conversation with me, of something interesting. Obviously, I don't want this to be some stupid conversation. But if someone wants to have a genuinely interesting conversation with me, two-way, jump in a lobby and talk with me if you want. Like, we can jump in even Modern Warfare or something in a lobby and just have a chat. I'd be perfectly happy to do so, especially right now while the channel is still small and I'm not inundated with that sort of thing. And I hope I never do become too large, because I like having a small community of people to be able to sort of interact with, and two, like I mentioned in one of my previous videos, I do have a bit more of a private Discord. and I don't want to open it up too much, but you know, for those who are genuinely interested in keeping up to date with the things I do, you know, get in contact with me, and we'll see what we can do. Especially, you know, if you're an Aussie, definitely. So anyway, so yeah, that's just sort of my sort of ramble on this new closed beta that's coming out. So that starts November 25th. It runs until March 2022. And then after that, it'll be open up to everyone. So if you want to access it before March 2022, you would need to spend at least $15 on the pack. Otherwise, then March 2022 it becomes free to play. But in the meantime, I'll still be uploading videos, and you know, I'm sort of leaning more on the side of becoming a little bit more exclusive to World War 3. Not 100% exclusive, but I do want to sort of lean more towards that side. And it sort of will sort of become up to you guys where it goes from here, because like I said, I don't want this content to be boring. I want it to be something interesting, and I like having a chat, as you can tell. So yeah, I can't think of really anything more, which is probably a good thing. So yeah, see you in the next video.